welcome back to the Dana Grant Show, where I'm going to do a special show right now, and that is with Ryan Phillips. He's in the house. We're going to talk about mental health through the holidays. We're going to talk about addiction. We're going to talk about how we numb ourselves out. We're just going to keep it real today. We're just going to have a conversation and talk about the do's, the don'ts, and all the things in between. We were just talking before Ryan hopped on about a real life event happening right now where he leaned in and needed something, and somebody, jerked him around. And this is life, isn't it, Ryan?
Well,
Welcome to the show. Yeah.
on real is how I roll, and that's why I'm having this conversation with you. For some
Yeah.
reason, when the stars align and we have these conversations, I always feel better, and my nervous system calms down with you. So,
Oh,
you know,
thank you.
whole mental space, mental health
Yeah.
space. I've kind of been buzzing around in it for a while, and
Yeah.
just like I'll tell you one little story. I'm 19 months off the benzos. It's been one hell of a journey, and
Yeah.
I've had the blessed opportunity to share on your show. A few
Yeah.
months ago, I actually felt better physically 6 months ago than I do now. I've my the benzodiazepine coming off those causes an injury. Benzodiazepine induced neurological dysfunction. So apparently, what I'm dealing with right now is a lot of neurotoxicity. Even though I keep a healthy diet, I work out every day, and I probably push myself to like a little bit too much. But it's
Yeah.
all I know is to work out and try to physically stay fit, so to speak, because I
Yeah.
believe in the whole mind body soul connection. But
Yeah.
you know, um, I remember this is a little over 2 years ago. And you have all these mental health advocates out there, and it says it on their Instagram handle, mental health advocate.
Yeah.
Really thought this guy, I will never bury guy's name, especially on a podcast. And
Yeah.
I actually, you're the first person that I've told this story to. I was on a podcast with this gentleman. Uh,
Right.
about maybe 2.5 years ago. My head was up my arse because I was still on a benzo still. I didn't even know what it was
Yeah.
like to be on off those things. And
Yeah.
thinking about this yesterday. So this guy is preaching to the choir about how good a person he is and reach out for help. I'm sober. And I reached out for help to this guy. I was in one. I'm in Texas. I just finished
Yeah.
some shooting of a film, and I reached out to this guy, and he told me that I was in a psychosis, that I was nuts, and go get help. And he hung up on me. And
Wow.
it's just funny. It's like when you say, if you put that out there to the universe, to the world, to
Yeah.
that you are an advocate for mental
Yeah.
health and your door is open to be there for people, you better
Yeah.
live up to that. You better live
Yeah.
up to that building because so
Or you might want to know what that means, because
yeah,
that means that somebody who's in a crisis might pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I need help right now." And we're in this industry where I get that all the time. "Hey, can you help me right now?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not a crisis, but I do lock arms, and I'm not gonna. If I say I'm gonna answer and I'm gonna find a way and support someone, I'm gonna do it." And you know that. It's
yeah.
like when
Who
the
are
rubber
you?
hits the road, I'm gonna be there. We're gonna do what we have to do.
100%. So like, let's keep it raw and real, always and honest. We're
Yeah.
a program of rigorous honesty. So
Yeah.
you know, beyond Instagram life and reels and what
Yeah.
you're putting out there for like behind the scenes, who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you
Yeah.
really as a person? Your
Yeah.
heart. So I think it's important that it's not just about the mental
No.
health T-shirt. It's not just
No.
mental health sweatshirt or event or the gala or just about raising all this money. Who's there in the trenches that you can actually talk to with some similar commonalities. And I will say I can't be there for everyone, but the
No.
only reason why I advocate the way I do to be there. And no one sees what I do. I don't
No.
want any bells and whistles or presents or anything like that. I just like to
Yeah.
help people because I've been through some pain myself.
But you are huge. I mean, let's go behind the scenes. And you and I are connected. And where if you see somebody that you think would be great on my show, or I need to know, or you need to know, we are like bouncing back and forth. Like, hey, you need to know this person. Hey, you need to plug in here because it's like this commonality, like you said, of support of like attracts like, and we know that
100%.
in this wellness industry, there are people here that are hanging shingles that
Yeah.
don't mean what they say. And you know what? I think it's a huge year, ending the year of the snake, which means we're shedding and leaving so much behind in this nine evolution year as well. And we're entering, I'm going to tell you, rubber's going to hit the road. We're going to see people are going to illuminate. We're going to see them for what they are. And we're going to be bye bye. It isn't going
Yeah,
to be all this shiny, bright, bigger is better. It's going to be about connection and honesty, all the things, the
love it.
tried and true, everything that you've been doing and advocating. I mean, you just show up and you have built on authentic connection. You're real, you're raw. That's why we're having the discussion today. You show up and you're like, man, I'm struggling again. And people are struggling through the holidays. There are times that in my life, I mean, I remember when I tore up that Demerol, 20,000 milligrams of Demerol, and
Right.
I'm still struggling with the migraines, but I'm like, what am I going to do? I mean, there was a moment where I'm like, maybe I'll look on the illegal dark web. I'm like, I don't, what do I put in dark web? I didn't even know what to do.
You're the best. I love
It's
it.
like, what do I do? But I had to sit with it and I had to hold myself. And I mean, you're all over the place because you're deregulated. And I think that when we lean in, even when, and I want to say congratulations for staying the course. You just keep seeking
Yeah.
and searching and you ground in and you really do have a good sense of direction. And you've got to give yourself credit for that.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate. I'm just waiting for the day that my head doesn't feel like rubber that's going to snap off my body and my
And it
skull
will.
feel hollow and everything. Oh, you look so good. I'm like, I
Yeah.
wish, I wish I felt like I apparently look, but
Yeah. Well, you're staying the course. You know what? And you're keeping it real. And you know what? Sometimes people just say, we ask them, how are you? I'm fine. I'm good. When they're not fine, they're not good. They're coming out of their skin or and nobody wants to talk about the things. Nobody wants to talk about addiction or even leaning in. Do you know how many people that I deal with that are utilizing alcohol, something to
yeah.
numb out? And in the holidays, we want to numb out a lot because
Uh,
things, damn it, things hurt out here sometimes.
I mean,
Lack of connection, lack of family, lack of money, it's the lack that comes in. And then we're like, I want to numb out. It's too much to feel all this.
and
And
Christmas is a lot of fluff and everybody trying to keep up. Not everybody, but a lot of people trying to keep up the Joneses. They have to get this
yeah,
gift or that gift or try to impress this, go to this Christmas party. Yet they're trying to numb out on alcohol. Just not everybody, but is
yeah,
this is a very challenging
yeah,
month for
yeah,
a
it is. It
collective.
is.
And
Ryan, what do you do? I mean, I know that you tap into a lot of energy, a lot of people. You stay grounded in nature. I mean, we
yeah,
there's a lot of like-mindedness there. But what do you do through the holidays when things get like when it's crunch time? Like I know you had a bad day. I mean, we finally made it here, but man, it's been a crazy ass day of energy. But we just took a deep breath, reset. But how are you doing it when life is bearing down and you're not getting what you need and it just keeps giving you hits?
I always just do my best to smile at adversity and then just have that deep inner knowing that we as spiritual beings came to experience the
Right.
contrast. And
Right. Oh,
like,
experience the contrast. So what do you do when you, like you said, I'm feeling all of these neurotransmitters now. I've ended the benzos, I've
yeah,
ended the addiction, but now my body is flipping out on me, and I don't know what to do to be friends with it again. I mean,
well,
what are you doing?
that's a good question. I mean, um, I, I try not to feed energy into the animal that has been trying to bite me. And,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
love that. What wolf do you feed? The one that's working with me, not the one that's trying to eat me. Yeah.
I mean, people at the gym, they probably think I'm training for a triathlon or trying to make a hockey comeback. I get on that bike and I
Yeah.
sweat like a monkey in the jungle. I mean, I just go, go, go. And sometimes I don't know if it's benefiting. I'm just doing the best I can to, for me, it's like just working out. I work out and like
Yeah.
physical body and it somehow like
Yeah.
exhausts myself. And
Yeah.
that's just kind of like how I roll. I
Let's talk about that. You work out now, and that's where you're finding like I'm just sweating it out, and then somehow that makes me feel better. But let's go back to your
well,
hockey days. I mean, we didn't dive in this time because I will tell you whomever's listening right now, you can go back. This is round two. I'm having Ryan back because I adore him. He's so real. He keeps it so honest. And you know what? I think we went viral last time. I mean, literally, we
oh,
had like 200,000. Oh yeah, instantly. I think what people need is the truth. the truth in a conversation that doesn't sound like any other conversation, but just showing up and saying, man, this is real life here. But you were a hockey player, you
Yeah.
were a drug dealer,
Yeah.
hey, you've lived a big life, and here you are. And then you did a documentary, then you biked around the world. You just keep showing up and paying it forward. And I love that about you. You just keep showing up, paying it forward.
We came here to experience the contrast. I
Yeah,
guess my higher self asked for all those things.
they
And
sure did. It sure did.
I
It's like they sure did because it feels like sometimes multiple personalities showing up helping you.
think for the longest time, I lived in a lot of shame and
Yeah,
a lot of guilt. Yeah, for the longest time, I lived a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, a lot of resentments and whatnot for who chose to become. And
yeah,
coming out, the back end of this whole benzo journey, I'm realizing that
yeah.
a lot of those decisions that I made were based on fear. Fear of being left
Mm,
out, fear of not being somebody. Like, oh, as a kid, I'm supposed to be looked at my community and whatnot. This hockey star, that didn't
yeah,
pan out because of injuries and drinking and drug and all that kind of stuff. So I had to find
yeah,
another way. And now I'm just trying to find a way to have some inner peace. And I find the best way is to really truly connect with like-minded people and energies that align. I like the cold tubs, I like the saunas, I like the nature, and
right,
it doesn't take a lot to make me happy. I'm a very simple guy. And
right.
it used to be the fancy cars and the trips and the women, all that stuff, whatever. And now it's literally, I mean, I can actually find a lot of peace just,
Now I just want to go hug a tree.
yeah, yeah, or climb a tree.
Yeah, our climate exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So tell me, when again, mental health is
mhm,
I'm it's been on my heart this month. I think
right.
it's because I see the struggle is elevated right now.
Yes.
And people need, they need to feel connected. They need to feel like there's some form of a place where they can go where they're not so alone. Like you
Yeah.
said, I was disconnected, the fear of being left out. I always say worry, doubt, fear, it keeps us in the bind. It keeps us in the struggle. But
Right.
stepping out of that and the newness can be, I don't know what that looks like. And you're like, I'm climbing trees, I'm cold tubbing, I'm running, I'm going around the world. You don't do anything small. Everything you do is big. Every time I talk to you, there's something new. You're generating a new idea. You're really engaged in something that is illuminating you and that you're all in. You're like you're not like in halfway and out. You're like all in until you're like I'm out.
Well, I was out for 13 years with the benzo, so I got a lot of time to make up for.
Ah,
uh, I
yeah.
collectively, especially, I believe that we're all connected, even though we are our intellect can take us to different spaces for sure. But
Absolutely.
that so many of us are driven by fear,
Mm,
and that's not a bad thing. It's just that most people have
mm,
fear of the unknown, and I've been there. But
yeah.
I guess what I have to segue into that is that faith without deeds is dead. If we're or
Mm,
being in the present moment, nothing really matters
yeah.
other than like right here, right now.
Yeah.
So in the rear view mirror, back when I had a not so nice visit at the doctor's office, I
Yeah.
hold on to that, and
Yeah.
that's just going to stick to me energetically, but it's not going to serve me. So I think that whole like let go, let God, or just like that art of allowing is something that we have to be in like constant practice all the time.
Yeah.
And you
I
know,
love that you said that because you know what, one thing I really do notice is that you show up in service. It's never for you. It's always, Dana, you need to know this. You got to go here. There's always this elevation of generosity where you're giving back or you're showing up and you're doing. And it, yeah. So this time of year when it's all about giving, how can how are you showing up and taking care of your mental health, staying out of leaning into wanting? Hey, and do you ever stop craving that? Do you ever stop wanting that?
I have not craved a benzodiazepine since the day that I stopped. I was so done with it that I
Yeah.
was somehow, some way, a power greater than me, God, source energy, whatever you want to call it, the canoe in the water.
Yeah.
Um, I was just like, I said a prayer after I shattered my ankle in Thailand. I said, God, if you allow me to live through this shattered ankle, this near death experience, getting hit by that truck over there,
Yeah.
I promise God, I will get off the pills and I will help millions and millions of people in the world see an easier, softer way beyond pharmaceutical medication that doesn't serve them. I mean, granted, I was addicted and I was overprescribed and whatnot. I mean, I mean, there has to be a power greater than me, an omnipotent, omnipresent God that's serving me in some way that I'm tapping in,
Right.
because you can't do this on your own. And I've tried to
Yeah.
explain it to a few people. How did you get off it? Most people die on that many. All the talk, wow, holy shit. I'm like, man, I mean, I got in a few car wrecks on those things. I mean, the business decisions, the millions of dollars I gave away, like just
Yeah.
like holy crap. I mean, I don't want to sound like a victim here, but the PTSD that
No.
I have from making like low vibrational decisions that
Yeah.
didn't serve my highest good or the people around me. And I look
Yeah.
at like what I was attracting into my life. Just
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful today. I have an incredible supporting cast around me.
Yeah.
Friends that from years ago that are now back in my life that I just pushed them away, but now they're like right here, like, Rag, what can I do to help you? You know,
Right.
um, so it's been very emotional to know that,
Yeah.
like, because for a long time I thought I was a really bad person. I was like, God,
Mm.
I was living like a secret because no one knew that I was taking these pills. I'm in, London, right about to do National Geographic, and I'm sweating my bag off. I'm hiding in the bathroom, chewing on, four benzodiazepines because I can't keep it together. But
Yeah.
I very
Yeah.
rarely get anxiety. I don't have a lot of depression. I'm very sensitive, and I feel like everything. It feels like,
Yeah, I would say you're an empath. You're a real
oh, yeah,
feeler
yeah,
and you feel things pretty quickly, which, you know, if you don't take it personally, it's a beautiful navigator
well,
of saying, yeah, here's a roadblock, here's a turn. I'm going to let it navigate me in this life.
but the
Yeah.
level of discernment that I have
Yeah.
now and the amplified awareness from coming off these things is like, holy crap. And
Yeah.
kind of why I took them in the first place. I felt like I was scared of my own awareness, my own like my own powers. We all have this. We all have it.
Yeah.
But I just like I can literally feel somebody's Instagram post and what's behind it. I can feel the way
Mhm.
they are on a text. Like just it's I know texts are impersonal, but I literally can feel if they took it the wrong way.
It's energy. Yeah. And not even take it personally, but it's energy. Everything we do is a vibrational energy, and you're
And
feeling the vibration.
a
Yeah.
law of vibration is a real thing that runs the whole universe, which I believe it is. That means
Well, we know that I feel that because
I love that.
I wrote a book about it. But so interesting was you said about benzos and how it was a low vibration and it muted life out and it
Right.
allowed you to re-navigate into portals of energy that just didn't
Uh,
align with your higher self. So interesting because I did detox work with a lot of people
mhm.
and the heroin was a more softer, gentler. It was a difficult thing to get them off of it. Narcotics difficult to get, but the benzos were virtually the most difficult challenge for
Yes.
me because I mean they'd bury them. They would do incredible things to make sure they had those because there was a terror without them because the life amplifying and not having that filter. I mean, the rest of it would be a numb out and a different relationship to it. But the benzos did some kind of amplification of I can't do life without this.
It's
And
wild that a
yeah,
human being obviously possessed by negative energy, the devil, could
yeah.
actually conjure up a pill to make something like that, to put it in the physical body, to literally dumb you down to for your connection to the source. You
Well,
know,
and let's just take it a step further because this is where I feel that, in this industry, when they started overprescribing, someone was making billions of dollars on this overprescribing, where the fallout, you're still, yep, it's been months and months, a year and a half. I haven't done it, but I'm still now having neurological problems from the fault. My body may be another year or so before I am completely, the cell structure in my
yeah,
body recognizes that it no longer is available. And it's, and every, as we know, every every cell in our body, and even the fat cell stores medication. As I was detoxing off medication, I recognized that the fat in my body, the cell structure was storing memory. It was storing toxins. It was storing, and I think this is what's great about you working out and exercising, because it's really amplifying and pumping it out. And I mean, anyone that is out there listening that can chime in on this. Ryan and I both are so open to more information, even though we both are really learned in this department. Not only we lived it, we've survived it, but we've studied it and coached it as well. But it's like there's nothing like living in your body through a detox period. But I'm just going to say kudos to you, my friend.
Really,
Really, that you not only did it and you continue. I know today was challenging, and here you go, and you go to get some help and some structure, and they pull the rug out from underneath you, and that alone could be a reason in the past to say, I'm diving back in because I can't deal with this. But you dealt with it, and we were challenged over and over again,
well,
moving
it's just
fast,
like
and
sports. I mean, look,
yeah,
every day, if
yeah,
there's smoother days than others, but we have to
yeah.
embrace the challenges. If
Yeah,
you
we
don't,
didn't get a smooth day today. We didn't get it all clear today, but look at we're here, and
exactly.
and we're paying it forward, and we're talking about things that people don't like to talk about. It might be uncomfortable for some, and actually, I get intuitively, I can feel people listening that may not know they have a problem with this, or may think they've got this under control, that they need this, and maybe they're leaning in and listening and assessing their life, and maybe they're going to make a decision to stop. Maybe this conversation is their wake up call.
Well, thing is, anybody out there that is suffering and not feeling well can get off alcohol, hard drugs, pharmaceutical drugs that don't serve them. And I am living proof that you can do it because I was on way too much.
Yeah.
And for years of my life,
Yeah.
alcohol and cocaine and ecstasy dominated my life. And
Yeah.
for the first little bit, that was the ride of my life. I thought it was just great until it became an isolated situation. And
Yeah.
prison wasn't enough to knock me into my boots in a solid way.
Yeah.
So I'm very blessed, to have lived through the storm, and I believe that the higher calling on my life is just to be. I don't tell people what to do. I don't want to tell anybody to do anything. I want to be able to show in real time, in real reality, that it can
Yeah.
be done. And so it's
Well, you
not
not only do that, Ryan, but you actually walk through your own journey. Like you said, not prison wasn't enough. This was nothing was enough. And I mean, and again, go back to Ryan Phillips' podcast that we've already taped. His story is we've got 2 hours of his story there, which actually went viral. It's an incredible story, and he pays it forward. But we're showing up today to have a conversation about what we can do through the holidays. We have this desire to help because we know that if anyone's got any form of numbing out this time of year, it's amplified. It goes up. So what can people do that might be jonesing right now? Is that a word, jonesing? Is it?
sure Jones
Yeah. Yeah.
and what
I,
you want
I
to call
never leaned into alcohol or ever and or illegal drugs. So, there's no upmanship there because my God, they were giving me 20,000 milligrams of Demerol a month. And like I said, if I don't lose my legs when those infections started and, my beautiful legs are scarred forever. But if, but I said, if I can keep these legs, I'm paying it for the rest of my life, and
it.
that's what I'm devoted to doing. No matter
That's
who, yeah, no matter who needs to know it, I'm going to share it, even though they may look at me and say, "Nah, I bet she's got
yeah,
really beautiful legs." Yeah, well, maybe I used to, but no, no. For me, they're beautiful because I got them. But
right.
it's yeah, it's a different relationship, and it's the more I think the more we share, the more we humanize this what people are going through. This image and this, like you said, we started off talking about Instagram and people showing up and saying, hanging a shingle and saying, I'm an advocate for, well, then you better be an advocate because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be calling it out this year.
Yeah,
And it's,
live up to what you say you are.
yeah,
That's it.
without
I,
judgment.
I got them pulling on my thumb, for Christ's sake. Story's not over. So I believed in that in quite some time.
Oh,
But
your story's not over. No,
uh,
no, your story's, in fact, you've done so many big things since the since your I would say breakup. Your breakup with the
Break-
benzos. Ooh, I like that. Breakup with the benzos. Ooh, a new book. Breakup with the
Yeah,
benzos.
you know what? That's good. We should write that together. That would be a bestseller. I'm
Oh
telling
yeah, well, yeah, break up with the benzos, break up, or I could say, let's see, what could we say with the narcotics or the opioids? Open to the opioids and break up with the benzos. I don't know, but the thing of it is, what we've done is we've not only reinvented, we've grounded, and the connection is, you're right, Ryan. We are all connected, and
you. Yeah.
we have a responsibility when we know better to do better, and we have a responsibility to pay it forward. That doesn't mean perfection. It just means real, raw honesty of, if we share this, maybe we can help someone who's struggling right now. Maybe we can say, reach out. And we mean it when we say that. And,
So, I
reach
love
out.
that. So, here's the deal. I am you. You are me. We are we.
Yeah.
Period. Now,
Yeah. Oh,
Pete.
oh, wait a minute. No, no, no. I have upmanship because doctors prescribed mine. It was all legal. And you were
Right.
worse because it was, do you see, that's what people like to do. They like to categorize. Nope. There's no judgment. We are absolutely, you are me, I am you. It is all the same place. It comes from a
Hero.
place of fear. I don't care where you got it. I don't care if it was legal, not legal. It comes from a place of fear, terror,
Yes.
safety. And we need to identify that core fear and that core root in order to stop hiding. Like you said, I was in the bathroom hiding and nobody knew. Well, they probably did know when you started sweating bullets. And they
Yeah.
probably, when
No,
I would say no one knew, they probably knew when I fell asleep with my mouth hanging open and I'm like, "Oh, did I fall asleep?" But I wasn't in a world where people saw me, but I was in a world where my children saw me.
right.
And they do remember that when they say that, Ryan, the shame
Right.
that used to be attached to that. Now it's like, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I'm so sorry you had to witness that.
Well, if I could, I'd give you a big hug right now. I wish I could, but
I
so
know. Same. Well,
well,
you know what? Same for you. Yeah. But you
uh,
know what? Yeah, that isn't ever going to go away. But that's a reminder. That's a reminder of something I'm never going to do. And the people that want to remind me that that's where I've been, thank you. Thank you
ex-
for that reminder because man, look at what I've done since then.
now
Look at how I
less,
utilize that like rocket fuel.
that's the road less traveled, and for how many
Oh
years?
my God, I can't believe you just said that. The first book I ever read at 16 was Scott M. Peck's book, The Road Less Traveled. It changed my life. The first line in the book says,
Life is
life
hard.
is difficult.
Life
Life
is
is
difficult.
difficult.
Yeah, life is difficult,
Well,
and
we friggin' know life is difficult. So let's make it easy. There's an easy and a hard way. You make it look easy out there, my friend. You do.
I don't like the fact that even what, let's just call it humanity issues. If it's a humanity, I get
Humanity issues.
it's a mental health issue. Look, we've had shirts come out and sweatshirts and galas and all that. The end the stigma. Well, you know what?
Billions of dollars raised.
Where does it go? Yeah, where does it
Well,
go?
let's face it. Well, let's go back to I don't want to get too political, but if we go back to the Reagan years, the war on drugs is what
Oh
the
God,
Reagan years abolished every mental health facility, every psych ward. It was gone. If we want to connect the homeless problem on the street right now, not just the homeless, but the mental health issue and the addiction, we're going to go back to the Reagan years. That's how long it took. And I live in California. Our streets are lined. I don't care what community you're in with homeless. It is an epidemic. And I'm tired of saying this is not a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem. And addiction it's got to be addressed.
it really truly does. And I get some heat sometimes, not crazy heat. I work a 12-step program. I'm not ashamed to say it. The AA book was written in 1938.
Yeah, I was going to say about 1938.
1938. And if you're not recovering out loud, you're doing humanity a disservice. It's not, like I said, it's not about telling people what to do, but I believe that actions always speak louder than words. So if you can walk
Yeah.
in service, walk
Yeah.
in faith and humility, in kindness,
Yeah.
passion, and really truly like hold those doors open for people and just say, hey, you're doing a good job, and try not to lose
Yeah.
temper when you get someone that cuts you off, or a bad doctor's appointment, whatever.
Or sometimes I was on the phone over a Sunday. I'm leaving a really great message to my assistant who's so terrific, and I'm full of gratitude. Then
Right.
I get two road ragers tag teaming going about 100 miles an hour on the freeway, and I'm like merging, scared me to death. And I might have said, "Holy!" No, 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 no. I thought I hung the phone up. but she
Right.
listened to my whole rant. I mean, I only said a little bit, and I'm like, holy Toledo, I almost died. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not talking to her anymore. I think the phone is, I've ended it. But she says, I heard the whole conversation. So sometimes we're going to lose our shizzle, but it's okay. It's how quickly we recover.
Absolutely.
We don't stay there. So for the
Don't
people,
throw the punch.
yeah.
Don't throw the punch. I'll tell you a quick little road race story. So, oh
Oh,
my,
I was a road rager, boy. I was a road rager.
so
Uh,
this past summer, this is going back about 4 months ago. By accident, I own it. I rolled about 3 or 4 feet across over a stop sign, and there was a gentleman, probably mid 20s, that had two pit bulls, and he didn't like it. He's in front of my car, and I put my hand up. I said, "I'm sorry, there, bro." And he wouldn't move. He slammed his two hands down on my car, and I'm like, "Whoa!" And my heart's pumping a million miles an hour, and I look at it, I put my hands up. I'm like, "Excuse me." I rolled down the window. I said, "Bro, I'm sorry." I
Uncle, my
move on.
hands are up, Uncle.
He wouldn't move. He wouldn't move. So I kind of
Oh, what'd you do?
I blew a fuse a little bit. I got out of my car and I was like, "Dude, hands off the car. Come on, man." And the guy
Yeah.
pulled a knife on me.
Oh no.
He pulled a knife on me. I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." And anyways, I got back in my vehicle and he's yelling at me, "Come back here. I'm dropping my dogs off. I'm going to F you up, mother." I was like, "Really? Holy
Well,
Christ."
Ryan, you, thank you for sharing that story. You know, because you shared that, I'm gonna go a little deeper. I'm gonna share my last road rage. This was my last one. Someone cut me off. It was years ago. I was a road rager. I learned it from my dad. He was a road rager too. He used to pull people out. I mean, and then I was a road. I mean, I'm not blaming it on good old dad because he was a safer parent. You know, yes, he was an alcoholic, but he was a road rager. And I was a road rager, and I take full responsibility for that. You know, no patience whatsoever. Um, eh, but I learned, and this is what it took. I was driving and I'm road raging. This person stop it, and I pull in front of them and I slam on my brakes. I I would never do that now. I don't know what possessed me to do it. I thought I was invincible. I mean, there was times that there have been accidents that I've lifted cars up, so I thought I was invincible. I do have some form of superpower. So here I think I'm invincible, and I go in front of him. I slam on my brakes. And he's got a truck, and then he pulls up alongside of me with a shotgun, and I'm like, I'm
Oh,
gonna die.
yeah. See, you never mental health. Mental health. Why? I mean, a guy who has a shotgun with him, you don't have that
Yes.
unless
You
you're
have
going to be very
no idea what's going on. Now my thing. So I survived that, but I'm going to tell you, it terrified me. I had no business doing what I did, but man, I learned a valuable lesson. It took that level of fear to say enough. And then of course I did the work, years of work. But I'm going to say, we don't know I was on the freeway yesterday and I'm going on and I didn't have my night glasses. I didn't even know I needed night glasses, but things were a little blurry. My eyes were tired. And I'm like, oh, crumb, I'm getting older. I got to get those glasses in my car. And so I was going a little slower because all
well.
the lights. And I'm like, darn, now I know what it feels like for people that need glasses. And so I was going a little slower, and then the road rages around. I mean, people honking at me, and I'm like, I can't even look down and really see because I dropped my reading glasses at an event, and I'm like, I don't have anything in the car. I'm like, I can't see. It's
Well,
like, I mean, I'm seeing, and we never know what's going on. Someone could have
you
just
don't
lost a
know.
loved one. They could have a health issue. They might be like me, slowing down because they're not seeing totally. It's nighttime and their eyes aren't adjusting.
Exactly.
And we just have to have what let's just talk about why we're here. Love and compassion are the answer.
Question.
Love and friggin' compassion are the answer.
And you think about in the worlds of what ifs, what if? Because back in the old days, I would have been like, I wouldn't have cared that he had a knife in his hand. I would have gone after him. Would have taken that knife out of his hand, and
Oh,
something bad would have.
hey, I'd have smashed my Range Rover in the side of his car. I mean, I would have gone for it. Nothing
Right?
was going to stop me. So I totally get that because this is where we're
Again,
at psychologically. Yeah. We're
what
out
if
of control. We're out of control.
radical forgiveness,
Yeah.
radical
Well,
forgiveness?
I have radical forgiveness for that lack of regulation. You know, we
Yeah,
know what it looks like, and I think this is where the benzos come in. You didn't know what a regulated system, you were trying
no,
to regulate. And now you're trying to regulate in a world that is anything but regulated. And you're
every
doing it. You're doing it. Every day you're doing it.
cross contaminating nervous systems.
Yeah.
Feel it. You got to
Yeah.
protect. You got to put a bubble of energy before you go anywhere. You got to protect.
Yeah.
If you don't protect your energy,
Yeah.
well, you're just an open vessel for other people's issues. And
Yeah.
look, I truly, I wish the best for everybody. I really do. I haven't always been a saint, but
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you have to invite everybody and every energy into your life. We
you can,
can forgive and release. And you know what? My new thing is, and if anyone's listening, this is an incredibly high vibrational thing to do.
yes.
No matter what we come across, they're acting crazy. God bless their soul. God bless their soul. God bless their soul. It's an instant high vibrational release. No longer in my hemisphere, my atmosphere, my energy. God bless your soul. Boom. They're out.
I think I might have to start rolling around with like "I love you" business cards and just start handing them
Yeah.
out like trick or treats.
Maybe like a sign around your neck. I need a hug right now,
Hugs,
and I love you. You know,
hugs, hug now or I'll snap. Bridging cultures.
well, you created bridging cultures, and
Uh,
you know what? I think that what's coming is even bigger, and I think today our conversation is really about honesty. It's about really where you're at, where we recognize life is at, where the energy of these holidays are at, and this
yes,
is some turbulent times, and what people can do. So let's lead them with what they can do right now. We know life can be messy. There is no perfection, but how can they show up and keep resetting and keep having grace? What do you have to say to people that are struggling right now?
I truly believe that decision is the mastery of procrastination. That for me, it was just a matter. I was sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. I don't want to. I was sick,
Yeah.
and spiritually sick. But the minute I was like,
Yeah.
I actually deserve to have a pretty good life here, buddy. You've gone down the rabbit hole of shit for so many years. Like I said, yeah, all the money in the world, all the nice stuff on the outside, but just dying inside. I know
Yeah.
that feeling. And I just want to say to everyone out there that they were look, if I am you and you are me, you're worth it. You are worth it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can pick yourself up. You might maybe the first person you talk to isn't the right person that's going to be able to help you.
Oh, I love that you
Well,
said that. Yeah, don't hang your shingle and your self-worth on someone that didn't make themselves available. Know that you're worth it. Know that it's your birthright. You're worth it. And then keep trying. I think that's a great message. Keep trying. Don't give up.
I believe we're God's highest form of creation. We're in
Yes.
created in that image. So this isn't about religion. This
No.
is about what you said. It's our birthright to be joyful,
Yeah.
to experience joy, and But listen, we're going to experience some heartache and hurt along the way too. That's all about part of being human, the human
Yeah. You got
condition.
to hold space for both.
So yeah, being able to have that container,
Yeah.
let it go along the road is of absolute to our benefits of like well being.
Yeah.
We are the beneficiary of well-being, so we got to like grab onto that and hold on to it and fire it up to the world.
Yeah.
So
Love that. Well, I'm going to add this with that. I'm going to add from whoever's listening, and they might be hiding behind an image of what they think is what the world needs from them. Reach out to someone,
yeah,
let yourself be seen, ask for help, because I know that for me the pendulum swung. I didn't want people to see that version because what would they think? I'd lose the love, I'd lose it all. And you know what? It was through that I gained everything. I
right.
gained everything.
And just for today, right? Just for today isn't just an AANA, an
Yeah.
slogan. Just for today, for everybody to do their best to be the best version of themselves within
Yeah.
the best version of yourself, which is going to vary from one moment to the
Yeah.
other.
I was gonna say one moment from not one day, one moment from the other. Yeah.
It's doing our best to hold a high vibrational frequency that creates a ripple effect for other
Yeah.
people to actually be like, whoa, okay, be better, do better, give more, allow more in. To give is to receive. But like I said before, you can't pour out of a cup that's empty. You got to fill
Yeah.
the cup up.
I love all that. I love all that. Ryan, what are you doing right now? I mean, I know you've built some, bridging cultures. You've gone
Right.
around the world on your bike. You've done so many, you pay it back. You're part of so many big movements. What are you doing right now?
Well, it's so I was filming the first documentary for Bridging Cultures. I got about maybe 15 hours of footage, and then I started thinking, you know what, this is too much about me. Yeah, I'm talking about other people. I want other people to come in, but it's tough sometimes just to like make everything work in unison.
Yeah.
So a very close friend of mine um, reached out to me last night. It was almost midnight, and he said, you know what, buddy? I'm going to build a studio, a kick-ass studio for you for bridging cultures. So in the new year, we'll have a studio, and there better be about 50 seats. If not, we can sit on laps, and and this is definitely going to be a collective experience. Bridging cultures isn't a Ryan story. I'm just one of the whole. So bridging
Mm.
cultures is going to be a safe place, a safe space for people to open up, be vulnerable, and have solutions naturally for all. I don't know have the answers to everything. I don't even have the answer to the benzo thing. I don't know why I stopped.
Yeah.
But there is protocols for all these things. So,
Yeah.
the burning desire is to illuminate humanity through redemption stories that help other people grow. You
I
know,
love that. Just start, be truthful, meet yourself where you are, be honest, be radically honest with you because you're not going to have any more intimate relationship with anyone than yourself.
how
And if you cannot be honest with where you're at, there's just, I call it a zero growth policy.
this isn't a fame game. This is about impact. This is about while
Mm.
we're here on this physical plane of existence to make the most impact possible to create a ripple effect for other people to say, whoa, hey, I can do that. Anything is possible. With God, anything is possible. With other people, anything is possible. The mastermind principle is real,
Right. How
right?
can people find you right now? I say that at 222. I mean, just
I'm,
signs everywhere. How can they find you right now?
it depends where I'm driving or where I'm hiking or what plane I'm on.
Well, you
Uh,
kind of hang out on Instagram. It's
You know,
called,
I haven't been super active on Instagram. I have a love-hate relationship with social media. Could I be doing more? I don't know. I'm really excited on firing
yeah,
up. It's not a podcast. It's real reality. It's a show, and
yeah.
the show is
Well, just like now, we decided, do we go live? Do we
we.
tape? It's a whole different like drop in and connection, and nothing scripted, nothing written, nothing
I
just
We should do our own Dana Grant Bridging Cultures episodes once a week. I know we said it before. Find the time, and even if it's just like, okay, I got like 10 minutes. Just go
let's
on
do it.
and
Let's
check.
do it. Bridging cultures, we're bridging and we're actually building bridges for people to be honest and connect at a
Absolutely.
level that they might not think is accessible.
A
Thank you
lot
for that. Yeah.
of people out there that don't have a platform with
Yeah.
powerful stories of redemption. I want to be that guy that can open up the floodgates to redemption to the people that don't have a platform that
Well,
that
you already have. You said you want to, but you already have in so
really
many on so many levels.
that going
So
to
yeah, got to claim some of it. It's like, yeah, I'm doing it. You're
I
doing it.
I will teach people that they can be, do, or have whatever they want in their life. Bob Proctor taught me, Think and Grow Rich taught me, and I got to pay it forward by doing the exact same thing.
God,
You don't have to know how, you just have to know that you will. Straight up.
you
The
don't have to
like
know how, you just know. So you don't have to know how, you just have to know
that you will.
that you will. I hope we
Uh,
can lead them with that. I'm going to leave you with that. You don't even know how. You have to know that you. Well, oh,
you don't know how, you just have to know that you will and that you are doing
that you
it.
will. And I say, don't play the waiting game. If this speaks to you, if this resonates, if you feel this, if it niggles you, if it hits you in your heart chakra, make a move. Reach out, if not to us, to somebody that, and if they're not the right person, let it bounce to another person. But don't stop. Don't stop seeking answers. Don't stop asking questions. Don't stop challenging the system. And know that we're in your court. We are fighting for you, bridging cultures every step of the way. And you heard it here first.
Bridging cultures every step of the way. And if you haven't heard the latest, you're the greatest.
Oh, I like that. All right, Ryan Phillips in the house. My gosh, my heart is expanded.
Oh,
I'm
my,
already
uh,
I'm already better than I was an
Chris,
hour ago.
Christmas came early this year.
There we go. Woohoo.
Hey,
All
who?
right, everyone.
All right.
Thank you for joining us. And until next time, reach out, tell us what this meant to you, stay connected, and
Yes.
let us know what you think about every week doing Bridging Cultures. We'd love to hear from you.
Love to hear it. Namaste, stay, 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 stay.
Absolutely.